update, but that's just showing our growth. Courtney and Paul also had a very positive experience, and I think, oh, there it is.
Man,
we were just talking about you, so.
Yeah, that's what I came in because you weren't calling me.
His ears went on fire.
Yeah.
Jose, do we want to talk about some of your growth and opportunities that you brought to the table?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
Right there, you can have that seat, right there. Also, you can sit it down.
See you.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah?
Okay, well, it's been an amazing week. People's ready, things are happening, and I guess today is gonna be actually a big day too. Because a few weeks ago I figured out that the system that I'm using, or that I used to be using to work, it was enough for what we're doing here.
Can we get us way closer to the speaker, the mic?
Just move that right
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
So
Passes.
the reason why I say that the system that we used to be using, the guy in the company, is not enough, is because it was created to work one-on-one, not as a team. So I tried to do the same thing this time, the first 2 months, 3 months, and I realized it wasn't gonna work. Reason why it's so simple. Like, I'm just gonna give you an example. If we want to expand, I cannot take care of people in 3, 4 different cities at the same time. It's impossible. But how about different states or different countries? There's no way that one person can do that, even if you have a good system to track people and everything. And especially when we're talking about residential, commercial, industrial, international, there's no way that somebody's gonna be able to follow correctly in a good time manner with everybody. So that brings me back to what is the best way to work with what we have. We don't have a gold mine, we have a diamond's mine. And the reason why I say a diamond's mine is because a gold mine, you start digging and you start pulling and pulling and pulling. This is not like that. You start digging, you find one, you polish it, you make it happen. You make a diamond out of a rock. Every customer right now, especially commercials, are like rocks. They don't even know what we're talking about. This last week, the motel that I stayed in near San Francisco, I noticed that they were painting it and everything, and they changed their lights to LEDs. So to me, that's obviously a sign that they're trying to save energy, trying to save money. So the next morning, I went and talked to the manager. I was like, just want to congratulate you guys. I mean, the place is nice, it's neat, clean, but I also noticed that you guys are changing your LED lights. It's like, yeah, we're trying to save money and we've been trying to figure it out. We're actually thinking in solar, but looks like it's not suitable for us. So I was like, and why you guys don't install a microgrid? And I've been saying this word in internet and many places to get the people's feedback to see what are their response when you say microgrids. It was like, and what is that? Like literally, that was his expression. And what is that? So I was like, okay, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And he's like, immediately. It didn't take me 3 minutes. He said, you know what? Hold on. Let me bring a paper. I need to make notes on this. I'm like, no, I'm gonna give you all the information that you need to say. Yes, I need to get the information so I can explain my boss and put a meeting together. Because this is what we need. This is what we need. And look, we have so much space, we can do this, we can. Immediately he started thinking of what to do. When I went back to the meeting that day, I told one of the persons on my team, the one that is gonna be the manager for the office, look, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to follow up correctly this client. You need to follow it. I'm gonna give you all the information, you're gonna be in the meetings, first meetings, and then you take over. What I'm trying to say with all this is that basically, each of us has a unique ability. We saw that in SBI, we're seeing this in the last weeks, and it's being more and more recognized. What can somebody do? What is best at? So I figured out that if we were, all of us, everybody and every people that came into the company as a team player, and we trained them to be a team player, that's the only way that we can literally blow it up and fast. Basically, I see that it's going to happen really soon, but I see that we're going to need 3 types of people. And we have them here in the team, but we're going to bring as much as we can. Number 1, people that like to create or know how to create connections. And that type of people, I might see it in a few of you guys. I see Luis doing that, because I tell him like a week ago, it's good for you because everybody wants to talk to you because you're a nice guy, you're always smiling, people want to talk to you. But that doesn't mean he's gonna be the perfect closing. So right now, we need as much people as we can, like Luis, people that will bring connections to close. We have people like AJ, we have people like David, we have people like Nikki, like me. I might count myself there, I'm pretty much everywhere, but we need somebody that is gonna straight out to kill it. If we try to do everything, we're not gonna go nowhere individually. And I believe some of us, since the beginning of this company, that's what we were trying to do. Try to do everything. We need to stop doing that immediately. We really need to start partnering up with others and figuring out. AJ mentioned a few times the importance of have a abundance mind. Sometimes you don't really feel it till you see it with somebody close to you. And right now, I believe you guys can see it and feel it right here. Because nobody is trying to just get mine. This is my client. This is my contact. This is my prospect. At the moment that we do that, we tie our hands. We literally tie our hands. And guess what? As soon as you make one single mistake, small mistake, that client is not going to be your client anymore. That prospect is not going to be your prospect anymore. It's going to be up in the air again. You're going to lose it. So why to put ourselves in that position? At the moment that we start doing that, this job is not for us. That's how I see it. But the moment that you start partnering up, and I don't care with who or who it is, with inside this company, and figure out what you're good at and what is the other person is good at and you can partner up with, that's the moment that things are going to start happening.
Absolutely.
So on my side, the conversation that we had last week, and I told AJ, I'm kind of nervous. Nick was there. I'm kind of nervous of the opportunity that we have here because it's not new for me, but I'm excited about this because what we're doing right now in San Francisco, I'm looking to make it a model to follow. Something that we can duplicate wherever we go. Miguel was there on Friday, right?
Friday.
With the team too. And he saw how the people was excited too. We put Mickey in the computer to say hi to everyone too, and he was excited too. So actually, Mickey, I think is gonna be there tomorrow with the team. But the people there already have the mentality that they need to work in teams. They need to work together. I can express how I feel this time about creating something from the start and be part of this, because it's just amazing. I told AJ and Mickey when they come back, like in January, I think it was, this is what we're doing, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna put together a company. And I was like, I see this, what I haven't seen in a company in the last 10 years. For those that know PACE, when PACE started the program, it actually creates a boom in the market. It created a boom in the market for solar, for construction, for remodeling. It was just PACE there. But what we have here, it's greater and bigger than that, because the market is set already. At that point, we needed to set the market. Right now, we don't need to do that. So stop trying to set the market. We have the market already. We need to just target the people. We just target the customers, but target it correctly. Not just shoot a shotgun and let's figure out where they hit. With a sniper rifle and go directly to the one that you need to hit. Why I'm saying this, I've been trying to narrow everything that we have learned in the past 3-4 months and just put them in just 20-25 questions and answers. I don't want, and I'm talking about my team or the people that I'm training pretty much, I don't want nobody to try to become experts in the microgrids. I want to become experts in explaining how a microgrid works. I don't need to know the technical aspects. I always tell them that, forget about it, that's not me. But also, the customers, if they don't even know what is a microgrid, how are they gonna make technical questions if they don't know? So don't worry about that. But the moment that you learn how to explain what it could be done with a microgrid, that's the moment that you attract their attention. And that's the moment that things happen. That's the moment that you get the appointment. That's the moment that somebody gets to say, hey, can I get how do we start?
Yeah.
So let's don't waste time anymore trying to figure out what to do. If you still like in the air trying to figure out what to do, go ask the ones they know and say, hey, I need help. I'm always running to Dave, I'm always running to AJ or Mickey, hey, I need help, I need to figure out how to do this. Why? Because they know stuff that I don't know. They know things that I don't even want to know. All I need to know is how the computer works. I don't need to know what is inside. So I think in this past 3 months, at the moment that Nick told me, go, I was shaking, to be honest. Because I'm ready. I've been pushing to get this done. But I feel short-handed. That's when I come back and I talk to a few people and I actually to Dave and I tell him, look, I can use as many of you guys because we need to put it together and we need to create the motor of this machine, and every piece of equipment needs to be working correctly. And I don't have all that people because that people has not been here for 3 months. You guys have been here for 3 months. So you are experts already in many things. Numbers, the numbers are gonna be ridiculous crazy. I see that. Ridiculous crazy. It was funny that yesterday somebody called me and asked me, I really need to understand how I'm gonna talk to the people on the other side of the sea about this. I'm like, don't do it. And then I realized like, what? No, wait a second. So hold on. I will send you some questionnaire that you can ask them and see, but just get the big ones. He said like, I don't have no small ones. I'm like, okay. Let's do it. I'm not trying to tell you guys that you have to look for just the big ones. One of the things that I really love about this opportunity is that we can start making money today. That's a unique opportunity. Most of sales company, you have to create a pipeline 2, 3 months, 6 months in order to get some money. We don't need to do that here. We have a unique opportunity. And that's when I really get excited. Why? Because we got the residential, we got the commercial, but we also have the bonus on the commercial. And how fast can those be paid? 15 days,
Yeah.
20 days. So if we want to get money for gas, for rent, for whatever, all we need to do is focus in the first week to get one of those clients. Get them a proposal. Go and present a proposal. You don't need to sell. That's what Nick's been saying. But it's gonna be the best training you're gonna have. So if you failed, probably is the wrong word. If the customer doesn't get it right and you don't close, guess what? You're gonna know exactly what you need to do next time to close. So why to be afraid? But also you already get your first check right there and start making a pipeline. If you do it constantly, and basically this is how I see it happening for everybody, and I believe it's gonna be the faster way to make money. First week, you target one of those, but really target one of those. You have a whole week. I don't think that you cannot get just one on a whole week.
You're talking about a commercial customer
Commercials.
that will give you interval data.
Yes.
Correct.
So if you talk to 3 a day, at the end of 5 days, you talk to 15. It will be almost impossible that you don't have one that is gonna be willing to give you interval data. If we split it correctly, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have at least 7, no less than 5. So the first week you do that, you know you're gonna have something to present next week. You know you're gonna have a check pending. So you're not gonna be worried about gas money or other stuff. But also then the next week, target the residential ones. Why? Because the residential ones can be paid in 45 days, average 90 days, maybe less. Commercial is gonna take what? 6 months, 8 months? Might be a good year. What you're trying to do with this is making 3 different lines to run at the same time and eventually converge. When that happens, guys, you're not gonna be here. And I see that happen too. I see you guys like traveling somewhere else. Because
I wanna jump in on what you're saying, because what Josue has done is Josue has taken all of the tools that we've given him, and he's put together a plan for his team to start generating income for themselves. You know, I think that's our biggest challenge in life, is how do we pursue our passion while not going deeper into the hole, right? So Josue is opening our first office, up in Northern California, and he's creating an opportunity more than just by opening an office. He's taken the leadership role and created a plan for new people who don't have access to us here. And that's the to me, I think that's the bold, courageous move, is the fact that Josue is saying, I may not know everything that I need to know, but I'm willing to go ahead and take the things that I do know and start making these things happen. And the only way for that to be successful is by creating this plan. Like you said, week 1, everybody just go out there and start looking for customers that will give you interval data, right? If all you did was call 3 entities, how long would it take you to call 3 commercial customers? How long?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, right? So what will happen the moment you call these customers? what's some of the things that could happen? You call a customer, what's some of the things that could happen? Or a potential customer?
They hang up on you.
They hang up on you?
We
You're
already
not
have a
getting to
generator.
call again?
They, what?
Already have a generator.
They already have a generator? What else? What else can happen? Tanya, what were you saying?
You have to call them again.
You have to call them again. Like, guys, worst case scenario, they hang up on you. I take that back. Worst case scenario, they don't like you and they start cussing you out because you called them, right? I mean, hanging up is better than that. But on the best case scenario, they like what you're talking about, they need what you're talking about, and say, you know what do I need to do? Okay? The opportunity there is creating the right message so that we can get the best possible scenario. You're not gonna learn until you actually throw yourself in, okay? Mike and Joe came up with us to SBI. They were probably, next to Josh, they were probably the newest people to hear our message. And they were literally thrown in the deep end at the largest solar and energy storage conference in North America. And when we asked them what was some of the good things that happened, Mike's first response was, I learned a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Mike, you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, just got thrown in there. I barely knew what I was talking about. I've never been in the renewable, energy industry at all. But just getting thrown in there, first couple of conversations were a little rough for sure, but started to learn what the questions they were asking and then just develop my pitch. And then I'll tell you what, after net zero, it was like just easy,
Smooth,
it was,
right?
and talking to a lot smarter people
Sure.
at net zero,
Yeah.
engineers, Edison and all these big dogs coming up.
Yep.
And by the end of it, they got what I was saying
Sure.
fully, hardly any questions.
Correct.
So, and they were excited.
Sure.
So just getting thrown in there, and I mean, it's the best training, like you said. You
So-
sit there and train somebody and tell them all the stuff they need to know, but until you're out there doing it, that's the best training you'll ever
I
get.
agree, so thank you. So let's talk let's talk about net zero. Many of us attended net zero. What were some of the successes that we saw at net zero? Tanya, this was your first time coming out. What was
Yep, so same stuff, exactly the same. You learn the best when you just jump in
Correct.
and talk to customers,
Sure.
because that's where objections coming from.
Sure.
And I see you guys handling that, so I'm like, that's the thing.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I got like a really nice connection, which I kind of didn't know before, and that's the builder. So hopefully something will happen there.
What other good things happened at, yes?
I have a couple of very good experiences. One, talking to the International Union for Electrician Workers.
Yep, IBEW,
It's
International.
people that you already knew, but they didn't know about microgrid. Well, they knew about microgrid, but nothing about someone already implemented completely. So they were really, really excited to find out that we have something that nobody else is offering. They're willing to work together with us, giving us all the experience and right trained, licensed people to work with us to implement it,
Correct.
right? So it's a matter that we're gonna set up a meeting with them too, to continue seeing how we can get all those really high quality electricians to work with us, to make it work the right way.
So guys, just so you guys know, one of the things, there was a law that was passed in California. C-46
Licensing.
licensed individuals will not be allowed to install battery storage on homes. So many of you guys that are in the industry, what is the license that many of the solar installers carry to install solar?
C10.
C10 and C46. What's the percentage of C10 versus C46? What do you guys think the balance is? Which one is higher and more qualified? C10 or C46?
Well, C46 is more qualified for what I learned just talking to these people and listening to your conversation. But C10s are the most out there because it's really easy to get a license.
It's opposite.
Oh,
So
really?
flip. So C10 is an electrician's contractor license.
Mhm.
That, so a C46, you can just go out and apply for a C46 and it shows competency and it shows your ability to go ahead and integrate solar, okay? C10, you need 8,000 hours of study, practicum, and actual practice on jobs, okay? So when you talk to, I mean, if I would challenge every single person in here, you're gonna talk to solar installers. Ask them what kind of license they have. Okay? So, by the time we come back next week, I'd like every single person to talk to at least 2 solar companies and just ask them, I was calling to see what license you have. Okay? Just call them up, I don't care what happens, but I want you guys to call and find out. The reason why I want you to do that is because the disparity between C10 and C46, if there are 10,000 electrical contractors that can install solar out there currently, if there are 10,000. And in California, I think it's closer to 60,000. Okay? So if there are 10,000 of these electrical contractors that can install a solar system in California for residential, 10% at most are C10. So what does that mean? What does that mean for DR microgrid in California? When we sell DR nanogrid,
we have to have electricians to tell us, so it can't be, yes, you're running the damn show, so we either gonna hit a roadblock or we're gonna have it expand for us.
that's exactly it.
Another thing that I see there is that every solar contractor that wants to sell the product is gonna need the help of somebody else.
That's exactly it. That's the bigger opportunity, right? Because if Tom is a C46 licensed, successful licensed contractor installing solar, can Tom start selling batteries and installing batteries?
Selling, yes, installing, no.
No installation.
So does that mean, do you think that Tom would like to start selling batteries if he can't install them?
No, if he doesn't see
Right.
how he's
I
gonna
mean,
make money.
he makes his money by installation.
Right.
So why would he wanna sell batteries and make this much money when he knows selling and installing solar, he makes this much? It just doesn't make sense, right? So I'm trying to make sure that I get everybody on the same page here, because this is the reality of California's solar installers' dilemma. Is that if you have a C46 license, yes,
Can't Tom go ahead and, do the installation as long as he's got a C10 to sign it off? Look it over and sign it off?
obviously that's always the case, but how many C10s trust C46s? I know for me, the reason why I would get a C10 is because I think all of you C46s are crackers. Right? Now, if I let Tom use my C10 license to sign off on his battery installation job, number one, Tom's probably gonna have to pay me something, right? That's kind of how it works, right, in the industry, right? You pay to use somebody's license. If Tom messes it up, whose insurance gets hit?
C10.
C10.
Sure.
Mine. So do I want to risk a lot of C46s using my license and potentially screwing it up? I would much rather hire my own people and go out there and do this properly. Tom, you had a question?
You were about to explain it all over right before you asked that question. Just say it again. Go with what you're saying.
So,
Right there.
so as you continue to go down this line, right? There's opportunities for us, you know, as it relates to C10 and C46. C10 people is what we need right now. The union, IBEW, that was there at the Net Zero conference, the union specifically said, we are trying to make the law go forward at a very sharp speed to ensure that any battery over 20 kWh cannot be installed, not only by a C10, but a C10 with advanced educational training on how to integrate a 20 kWh or higher battery. So how does that affect us? How much of our batteries that we install in residential are 20 kWh and above?
All of them.
100%.
All
Right? So some people can look at it with the scarcity mentality, say, wow, we just shrunk our installer base. Right?
We made our dealer base more exclusive.
Or exactly like what Nick is saying, we made it more exclusive, and we made the qualifications to work on a DR Nano grid much more important. We value the safety of our people, the safety of the homes that we service, as well as the sanctity of what we've built. And we don't want just some Tom, Dick, or Harry just throwing in stuff, right? We value these installs so much that we support IBEW and their push to make people higher accountability to install these advanced systems, right?
Yes.
Tom?
Can I use this as like almost a sales tool then by calling these installers and saying, I have an investment opportunity for you, but I need to know what kind of license you have first, or something like that?
100%. Well, I mean, I think the other part is, we should always get them.
I would just, I'm sorry.
Please.
You don't have to say investment opportunity.
No, but
That's
I
just
mean,
gonna scare them
well,
off.
business,
That
business,
scares people.
business.
Opportunities, right.
So I think along those lines, I think the biggest thing is just find out, hey, there's a lot of people installing batteries and microgrids, are you guys doing that? First question, right? Are you guys installing, solar and batteries, and stuff? Have you guys heard about microgrids? If they say no, that I do not install batteries, what's your next response?
Would you like?
Would you like to
Would you
start?
like to?
Right? Okay? If they say yes, what would your next response be? Yes, I install batteries with all of my solar jobs. What would your next response be?
What type?
Type of licenses do you have?
What type of license?
What type of license is good? What kind of batteries?
Kind of batteries?
Are you installing a microgrid?
What's your percentage of batteries?
So the reason why I asked that specifically, do you guys install a microgrid, is I want you guys to start listening to the answers that they give you. Okay? What do you think most people will say?
No.
They usually say, I'm installing batteries just for backup.
Yeah.
Backup batteries.
So for some of us that went to Mark Jules training a few weeks ago, there was a gentleman that said 80% of his installs, he put solar and batteries. Right? You guys remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I think it was my friend Luis here that said, are you installing an automatic transfer switch with that?
You say, yeah.
He said, yep, with all of my jobs. And I looked at John, Mosh, and Nick, and Mike, and I lipped to them. He's lying.
Yeah, no.
And just watch. He had no idea, right? The guys that were there, when Luis asked that question, he goes like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, I do. And then next thing you know, Joe and Mike set up a meeting for this guy afterwards because he wanted to talk. And I asked him, I said, hey, how much does it cost for your automatic transfer switch? Oh, I don't know. Really? But you install it on all your jobs. Well, the contractor that I hire probably installs it. Do you believe that statement?
Nope.
No, because
If you're a solar contractor and your salesperson for another company just sent you a job to install solar and batteries, are you going to install an automatic transfer switch if all he said was solar and battery job?
Nope.
No.
not out of your pocket, right?
That's exactly, because you know what that guy is selling it for, right? So, I can go into, I can spend the next 10 minutes talking about why what that guy said was absolutely false. Mike and Joe were there when I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and it just kept poking holes more and more and more into the fact that he's not installing a microgrid, right? So imagine being able to talk about these different questions to these solar installers. Do you install a microgrid? Yes, no. Let's hope most people say no, because if they do say no, then that means it makes all of us be able to say, at least this guy knows. what's the difference? Right? Because if he doesn't know the difference, then we gotta help educate him. But if he does know the difference, then he's sophisticated, where we can start saying, would you like to install a microgrid? We have a plug-and-play microgrid available to be able to help you, upsell your customers, protect your customers, all that other good stuff, right? So use that as an opportunity. Now, why do we care about C10 or C46? I just want everybody in this room to start getting a gauge on what's real out there. AJ stands up here and talks about these things, C10, C46, they're passing this law, they're not passing this law. Don't take my word for it, go do your research. Call them up, find out how many of these guys are C10 or C46. Because not, how many of these electricians, C10 or C46, how many of those people do you think are union? How many of out of the 10 to 40,000, let's say 10,000, out of the 10,000, what percentage of those people, C10, C46, what percentage are part of IBEW labor union?
15% or so, 10%, I don't know.
Say around 20 probably.
6%. Oh, I tell you guys this because IBEW is small in context of what you're doing. Tom, when you sell a solar system, I can almost guarantee you're not using labor union staff. Is that correct? Right? I mean, that's just why? Because labor union staff are more expensive, right? So we all understand this, right? They're good, they have higher standards, but they come with a cost, right? When we work on Kaiser, all work on Kaiser buildings have to be using labor union wage workers. So I can tell you right now, Josue's seen it. On our Kaiser jobs, almost double the cost that Tom would quote them.
Labor.
Just because of the labor. Right? So that's why I forget Luis was in the car with me, Luis was asking, AJ, how come, can we work on Kaiser? How come we're not working on Kaiser? Because it's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Because now we're gonna have to double the cost of our system. So if we're getting a 5-year payback, it'll be a 10-year payback, maybe even more, right? So we pick and choose our battles, right? So these are some of the things that we're kind of looking towards. Josue was talking about how some people don't understand microgrids. How many of you guys agree with that statement? Yeah, good. Okay, it's kind of unanimous. Okay. So why do we have a name like DR Microgrid? Are we targeting the Facebook crowd that says, hey, you want to learn about a microgrid? No, we're not. David when I walked in this morning, David's first question to me, David, tell everybody what happened.
Yeah, so, it really is something, I'm gonna take it back real quick. We are facing traction specifically because what we are doing, and it's bringing to life its own. At both we've gone to 2 conferences now so far, and at SPI there was hundreds of solar companies, hundreds of battery companies, but did we not still have people come up to us and say, you are the only person that is exactly what we're looking for? Who here heard that at SPI? Yep.
Multiple times.
Yeah. We were at net zero about reduction, carbon emissions. What is that statement sent to us again? Yep. You're the only person that I want to talk about. Microgrids is what we need. As a result, we are picking up traction organically, which is leading to a need for responsibility to appreciate that opportunity. Not only last week did, Courtney and Paul talked to a brewery that was held. There is, Rob and Mary had a meat manufacturing storage, had a great conversation, and I had a retirement community reach out to him. Tom had a huge in with the new developers. Mark talked to a city. What happened this morning, again, people were looking for microgrid. It was a community of veterans, a new development of homes for veterans. They found us through our website because we are talking about microgrids. And that was just today. So the traction has happened. AJ in the past talked to us saying that after SPI, that would be the starting point of our growth. And I hope everyone here appreciates that opportunity, what we have. And when that opportunity is big, it really just leads to a need to really respect the opportunity. In the sense, AJ is talking about a lot of the C10, C46, all that information is out there. It's up to us to be able to educate ourselves on the greater picture so that we know exactly where to point the opportunities to, right? Everyone has the ability to impact each other now because people are finding us through what we do on our website, which means the more good work that you guys do, the more opportunities that will lead to everyone else. And the inverse can be true. We need everyone to act like leaders and take this seriously. And there's a lot of growth that we're doing for that reason. We are picking up, and we'll be talking where there's going to be more training, ADP for payroll. There's going to be new contracts that we're signing. We're growing and maturing as a company, and it's really up to us to appreciate and mature with the company. If we're going to be big, we have to treat it like that. And I mean, it's exciting. To have a veteran company reach out to us because of what we do, that's huge. That's exactly what we've been built to do it, and it's out there.
Yes.
AJ has said multiple times, and I don't know if all of you guys catch that. We want to become clinics. We want to become clinics, like clinics company.
Can we move the mic again?
It's gotta be short. Why he's saying that?
Right there.
It's right at that. That's fine. Why he say that? It's so simple. When clinics come out, pretty much nobody knew what a clinics was. But the name start coming out. So at this moment, you don't talk about other brands. You say, I need clinics. It doesn't matter if you're getting other brands, you're talking about clinics. Mm-hmm. So we're at the beginning of, I would say, the new era for this industry, and we're talking about microgrids, DR microgrids. And let's make sure that we have that DR microgrid, because down the road, that is what is going to differentiate us from everybody else, and everybody else is going to point back to us and say, oh, DR microgrid. I want their system. I want a DR microgrid. They're not going to say, I want a microgrid. They're going to say, I want a DR microgrid.
Yeah, and mind you, we patented the process, right? So I mean, when we talk about, when we talk about all of these things that we're doing, we're protecting not only the brand, but we're protecting the installation, we're protecting the customer, we're protecting us as an entity, right? So we need to make sure that we continue to do this by just being true leaders in the industry, right? So things that we can do better for our, for everybody that has gone to our trade shows. We talked about it as an executive team. We're looking at doing 4 major M&G trade shows per year. We also would like to be doing a trade show every month, but specific towards segments and industries. So we talked about it last week that in December we will be doing, so this past month we did net zero. In November, we're doing energy storage North America. December, we're doing, is it MJ BizCon? MJ BizCon, which is the largest cannabis gathering of B2B, business to business in the cannabis industry. So this isn't just pot smokers or whatever. You're talking investors, businesses, I mean, you're talking savvy business people in the cannabis market. They expect over 35,000 attendees at this show, okay? So we're gonna use this as a way to try to get into specific segment markets. So I need you guys to start really blazing the trail towards specific segments. If you guys,
Yeah, I mean, if, you have to really start focusing on what industries that you want to. I mean, every industry has a convention. Nursing homes, schools, any kind of manufacturing, any kind of specific manufacturing, hospitals, hotels, they all have them. Caretakers of every kind, mortuary homes. I mean, you can just go down the list and start thinking about the ways to contact some of these people and set some of these things up. Because whenever you go to one of those, you will get business. We get business every time we go to a convention. So we've got enough stuff to do 2 of these a month.
correct, so.
We can do
so,
2
you know,
simultaneous.
As
They're not all gonna be big.
as it relates to these conferences, right? We went to SPI and we are one of them, right? We are one of the 18,000 people that's there, and we stood out. We went to Net Zero, we're one of the 58 exhibitors there, and we stood out. Can you imagine what happens when we go to a cannabis industry conference? How many people does the same thing as us? Nobody. How many people can supply what we can supply to them the way we can? Nobody.
No.
So if we were able to stand out at SPI and Net Zero and Energy Storage North America, I believe we're gonna do the same thing at ASNA, right? So if we're able to stand out amongst our peers, can you imagine how we're gonna stand out when we go to an industry-specific segment, right? Also,
And actually, that's a good opportunity because if you're just walking, let's say in a cannabis convention, and suddenly you see something about energy, what are you gonna be thinking? What these guys are doing here? You're gonna try to know what these guys are doing here.
right, so we, that's why, like what Nick is saying, find the industry segments that make you excited. But let me just preface this. Don't just go down to these industry specifics thinking, oh, it's big, let's go after schools. Okay, what's the sales cycle of a school?
Man, probably the worst.
A year?
Oh,
I mean, if you wanna go do it, knock
Red
yourself
tape,
out,
right.
but I'm not gonna pay you the 5 years that it'll take for you to integrate this. You know, I'm just being honest, right?
Yep.
So, be thought-provoking about these industries that you guys are gonna go after. Are you gonna be able to be close to the decision maker? Is their sales cycle long or short? Is the opportunity, is there need for what we have? Is it really big? On the priority of their business, where is the need for what we give them? Right? Now, luckily, we're in an industry and we provide a solution that anybody that runs a business kind of needs. But believe me, some people value power a lot differently given what they can do. Okay? So as you're thinking about these industry-specific opportunities, make sure that you really go through these things in your mind, because that's what's going to help drive sales. Luis?
A couple of things. When we went to the Net Zero, when I first got there was a microgrid already established.
Yeah.
So I went up to the guy and talked to him, and he, of course, I had my shirt, and it's a DR microgrid, and I'm going, he said, who are you? And I got my shirt off, I'm going, we do microgrid. He said, so do we. So of course he took, the was like, I'm the one that does microgrid. I said, well, tell me about it. Now he had a beautiful screen,
Yeah.
a live shot of what his microgrid was doing, but then the first thing I was on is, we curtail this, we curtail that, we curtail this, we curtail that, then we can give X amount of power to the grid. I'm thinking, really? Is that what you do? And so he says, yes, that's the way we do it. I went, okay, fine, so I just walked away. Before the end of the day, they were at our booth, and now they want to know how we do it,
Right.
how we were doing it, and then when they saw the the electrician guy talking to you, they said, oh, this guy's, they know something here. What are we not doing? And of course, toward the end of the day, their booth is empty, and our booth still has people coming through wanting to talk to us.
Correct.
Wanting to see who we do and how we do it and everything else.
Very sad.
And on that note, before we segue, when I first came, and I went home, and I told my wife about this, she says, well, what do you guys have patent? I said, I don't know. We patent something, but I know we have a shot at it. And she says, well, what are you selling? I said, I don't know, but we're going to sell it. Well, what is it? I believe that. I trust it. I know what they're doing. Well, what is it? I don't know. So everybody says, what is it? I don't know. We're doing it. I'm going to get there. Believe it. I trust it. I know it's working. I know it's going to work, but it sounds good.
Just so you know, My wife still doesn't know what we did. Mickey literally sat there and said, AJ, Nick, thank you so much for allowing me to bring Josh onto our team, because this is the first time in Josh's entire life is Josh able to actually see what his father does. So you're in good company. You're in good company.
And I just really want to point out what Luis did is, through representing us well to that company, he helped us all. So the opportunity is no longer I landed a brewery, or I landed a manufacturing. When we do well, we lead and support the entire team. So that's just one huge thing I want us all to think about. We will rise and fail as a company due to the action and decisions that we make to turn it into a group, to lead through example and through doing good to the people we represent. When we go to that cannabis conference, I'll tell you, not one of us is going to be partaking any of that, because I respect you guys. When we're out in Vegas and at night, we're not going to be partying because we respect you guys. My image that I portray at my home, at my work, at anywhere, I have to be thinking above myself, because the opportunity we have the chance to make this world good through the work that we're leading here in California. The world is following the steps that we are taking. They're contacting us. Hey, help us with this island, help us with this state out of United States. It's tremendous, and I just want to appreciate and reflect on that opportunity that we have.
So with that, I want to segue into. Thank you, Mary. I want to segue into one of the things that people rarely teach is leadership. Okay, leadership is an art that many people talk about. There's books all over the place about leadership. Every single one of us learns leadership in some way, shape, or form, whether it be from home, from our fathers, from our mothers, from our bosses or whatnot. But I don't think that the leadership is given enough credence for us to continue to move this forward. And at the early stages of our growth, I think it's important for us to really understand this, right? So prior to us coming into this world, Mickey and I was in the finance world. One of the things that we did was estate planning. Anything that touched money, we own the company. Financial planning, estate planning, mortgage planning, tax planning, everything as it relates to money. And we had everybody talk. But what we've learned is estate planning, traditional estate planning, when Nick passes, his estate will go on to his posterity. We take a family that Nick has helped perpetuate and grow and nurture, and we turn it from we to me. And that's the traditional estate plan, right? When a parent dies, a lot of the kids start to say, well, what's my portion? Where's mine? Right? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Or heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it takes this mentality from we to me. There's a client that we worked with, and it was interesting because every single time we met with him once a quarter, and we met with his whole family. This guy's loaded. I mean, probably worth $800 or $900 million. And every time we met with him, it was so beautiful because everything was we. And then eventually, about 7 or 8 years ago, the wife passed away. 2 months later, the husband passed away. We finally came back, met with the family again, and everything went from we to me. And I could sense the difference in the conversation. I could really sense that there was really a change in the environment, in the attitude, in the way that this family operated.
Separation.
It was separation, right? So it became very evident to me that whether it's a family or a business or a community, we need to focus on the we, right? For those of you, there's the Viktor Frankl, he wrote Man's Search for Meaning. And in that book, he talked about his time in a concentration camp. Okay? And he said that they could tell when somebody was going to die when they stopped sharing their food. Interesting. When you change from an abundant mentality of let's all share, and you start to say, no, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. He said that in that concentration camp, you guys should read it, it's a great book. If you guys start getting into the higher echelons of business, I can say 30, 40% of all CEOs will talk about reading Viktor Frankl's book, okay? And it's talking about this time that he was in the concentration camp and all these different things. So, so it's interesting, right? You would think that the moment that person is starting to take care of himself, he's going to be okay because now he's not having to share it. But that's what he notices, that when people stopped sharing their food in the concentration camp, they knew that that person was going to die next. So,
just to add to that, in that book, what I really loved is what we're doing is we're putting a lot of meaning in our business, or we have a lot of reason to be doing what we're doing other than financial.
correct.
So that's what I love. And in that book, he says there would be people that ask him, because he was a psychiatrist, what is the meaning of life? Help me survive. Tell me what can I do? How can I find God so I can survive this? And he realized that there is no meaning, that we add the meaning to our life.
Right.
That is what we're here for. We're here to add the meaning to our life daily, and every moment, every person that we help. And that's where I see us going as a collective. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of it. So
Thank you, Jim. So again, this is the Man's Search for Meaning is a great book. It helps us to understand that there truly is meaning beyond ourselves. What we learned in our finance industry is that when people retire, their lives get shortened. Okay? And a lot of it is because they lose purpose. Right? So if you notice some of these guys, I mean, how is it that Warren Buffett continues to do what he do? Because that's his drive. You know, my wife can't wait to retire. My wife's been a nurse for 25 years. She can't wait to retire. And she's like, babe, what are we gonna do in retirement? I'm like, babe, I'm gonna die on stage. That would be the perfect way for me to die, is on stage, because that means I'm doing what I love. You know? So for me, I like having that meaning behind what I do, why I do, how I do it. Okay? So as it relates to leadership, for us, we need to make sure that we take everybody through to we. We need to really look at this collective. It's not just about me doing this and me getting great. I have to really think about the guy to my right, the guy to my left. I gotta think about how this affects every single person. When we start to have this scarcity mentality of how am I gonna benefit from this, then we start to lose the connection to the greater good of the team, right? As it relates to our purpose, as you know, for Man's Search for Meaning, that's one of the things that I need us to make sure that we focus on, is our purpose in all of this. I'd like to hear from everybody. What are some of the reasons why we do what we do at DR Microgrids? Let's talk about it. What are some of the reasons why? Nick, why do we do what we do at DR Microgrids?
We do this so that we can promote a renewable energy wave, that we are way back on the tidal wave of start. We're back in the swell right now, introducing what we're doing to other people and actually changing the way people look at storing and using energy.
What else? Thank you. What else? What are other reasons why? Why are we doing what we do?
To pave the way to teach others to do it right.
Teach the people and they can save lives in large events that are catastrophic.
Okay. Mary, you said protect?
Saving lives.
Saving lives. Can I just put protect?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom, you were saying?
Well, I was going to change it now.
No. Okay.
To help people save money.
giving independence.
Next, what else?
Helping other companies do it right, you say that all the time.
Mentor, how about we try that?
Mentor, yeah.
Why else are we doing this? Why else are we doing this?
For the better good of the actual station. Because I actually can see and envision where every single home will now be part of the grid, part of the electrical system that we have in our whole state.
To change people's life.
Give them peace of mind.
Making money,
Yeah, it's on there.
not doing it for free. Doing it for the good.
What else? Anything else? Does that look good?
Decentralized energy generation.
What is that again?
Decentralized.
Decentralized, I like that. Okay, Dave?
And I say we do it because I think it'd be disrespectful to the greater opportunity at hand. It's in front of us, and we're responsible now.
With great powers comes great responsibility.
Responsibilities.
David's Spider-Man.
I got Spider-Man over here.
There you go.
All right,
Okay.
so let me give you guys a scenario, okay? Leadership nowadays and business nowadays, the way that we run businesses are theories that came out of the 80s. Okay? I think his name was Malcolm Friedman, said that he said this back in the 70s. He said that businesses are responsible to generate revenues at all costs within the rules / laws. Okay? That's where he made that theory in the 70s. That businesses are responsible to make revenues at all costs within the rules and the laws of the land. How do we feel about that? Correct?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
Right?
I think it's ruining our country.
It's ruining our country.
Yeah.
Okay? What about ethics?
Yeah, it leaves ethics out of it, doesn't it?
It leaves ethics out of it, right? Because if you're a company that follows the rules, and as long as the rules are followed, that's not our fault. When a company goes in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, and they look at the U.S. Supreme Court and say, we didn't break the rules, we followed the rules, we're not guilty. Just because it's true doesn't make it right. Right? So when you have a pharmaceutical company that has a drug that can save lives, and they increase the price of the drug by 500 to 600%, is it legal? Yes.
Yes.
100% it's legal. Is it ethical?
No.
Okay? When shareholder value becomes higher priority than taking care of your people, that's the problem. Right? When revenues, shareholder value take precedence over the people that are on your team or people that you serve, that's where the challenges arise. Okay? So, mass layoffs. Mass layoffs come into being. How many of you guys hear of mass layoffs? Know about mass layoffs, know somebody that's been affected by mass layoffs. Right? It is 1 degree of separation nowadays. Okay? 1 degree of separation in which somebody that you either know, you yourself have been affected, or you yourself affected that person. Meaning, the way that we balance our books nowadays is mass layoffs. Right? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Who doesn't understand that? If we're not making enough money, you either make more money or save more money. How do you save more money in an instant? Layoffs. You fire a bunch load of people. That was never a part of business prior to the 80s. Never. Nowadays, it's a common practice, right? Another common practice is rank and yank. What that means is, as you guys continue to do well, as Tom continues to climb the ladder because he's selling and doing good and all this stuff and contributing to the company's revenue stream and shareholder, returns, he gets promoted, the top 10% moves up, the bottom 10% that don't produce, what do we do with them? Get rid of them. That was never part of the 80s and beyond, before, right? This is all for shareholder gain. That's the way that this business mentality is. Jack Welch, famous CEO from GE, he was the one who pioneered all of this stuff. Mind you, I read a lot of Jack Welch's books. I think he's brilliant. But that's not the way we should be running businesses nowadays. Would you agree?
Yep.
We need to have a higher form of integrity as we build our companies, as we build our teams, as we build our personal lives, right? So, I'll give you a scenario, okay? A CEO comes in and says, I believe in my company, and the purpose of our company is revenue, shareholder contribution, our customers, and our people. What do you think his priorities are?
I don't make money.
I believe in my people, right? It's my top 4 priorities, right?
Yeah, but he's believed that he can make money off of that people.
When we, every single person, by default, give our lists based on our priorities. From now on, listen to people. Listen to the way they speak. That's why when I talk, whenever I put out lists, whenever I put out marketing things, I am very deliberate on what words I use, where I use them, and how I use them. Mm-hmm. Because every person, by default, spits out based on their priorities. So, if you have a CEO, Walmart. When Mike Duke was the CEO for Walmart, his priorities, press release specifically says, we strive for revenues, and when we take care of our people, and our people help us to ensure that we maximize our revenues. That's Mike Duke. After he got fired, his successor, Doug McMillon, came in and said, same press release. We value our people. And when we support our people, they will in turn maximize our revenues. Same message. Which one was priority? Doug McMillon took Walmart to the next steps. Doug McMillon took Walmart to become $1 billion. Whereas Mike Duke was taking Walmart down a really unsavory path. Because Mike Duke was looking at revenue first. Same thing, revenues and people. Mm-hmm. But whereas this other gentleman, people first, revenues come after. How many times have you guys heard me say, serve the people, the money will follow? Yeah. Serve the people, the money will follow. Right? So I think that's the opportunity for each and every one of us is as we start to look at what we do, it's about we, not me. Not only is it about we, not me, it's also about the people that we serve. Our priorities, and this is important because as we continue to do more conferences, as we continue to meet more people, we expect every single one of you to go out there and talk to people. Okay? So there's a way that we need to do it. When we go to conferences, I expect every single person not to know as much as me. That's why I put me, Nick, David, Josue, Mickey, out there at these conferences so that all of you guys can listen to us talk. Right? Make it part of your culture. But, as a recommendation, listen but don't be seen. Stay in the back. Stay in the back. Be within earshot, but not within a scenario where you got 10 people at a conversation. Because sometimes the gems of the conversation cannot take place in mass. If somebody is talking to David and we're talking and I've got 5 other people, I may not want to disclose that I'm thinking of changing from this company to DR Microgrids because 5 other people can go ahead and blab it out to the company he's trying to change from.
I know you notice it, because we play off well together. When I start taking them and I take you to an individual, or if you bring an individual to me or whatever, let that conversation get going and then just lightly back away. I'm gone every time. Every time he starts talking with them, I let them engage, and sometimes I'll just say, excuse me, and I'll just back away. Sometimes, you know, it's great for everybody to listen. Sometimes he's right, he has some room to breathe.
And along those lines of what Nick was saying, you know, there's a few people in here. I'm telling you guys, this is golden. Watch how Nick and I play off of each other. Watch how David and I play off with each other. Watch how Mickey and I play off of each other. It is brilliant. You cannot pay for that type of knowledge in how to pass people off, on how to prep people. So, you know, everybody wants to get the smartest person in the room to be able to talk to your potential customer, right? Problem is, if somebody else is already engaging, if David's already engaging with them, and Nick automatically just brings me in to start taking over the conversation from David, what's going to happen is AJ's going to take precedence. Well, what did I just do to David? Let's cut his legs off. Let's cut his legs off. The customer now devalues David because David just got taken out of the conversation. David also could devalue David by saying, what the hell? I had it. I knew what I was doing, and AJ just comes right in. We have to be strategic in how we start making these introductions because you don't want to devalue the other person. Because guess what? Is AJ ever going to take a customer from cradle to grave? From the time we meet them all the way to the time that we finish them. Is AJ ever going to do that? We'll sway.
No.
No.
Never.
That's just not in my nature. I go over there, get the girl interested, and I walk away. I'll never take the girl home. I'll barely even kiss the girl sometimes. You know? As long as I know she looked at me, I'm good. So, what did I just do? If I go ahead and take David out of the picture, then I just lost the person that can help take the job all the way to the end. And all of you guys have to make sure that you put yourself in that position. How many of you guys believe that you will take your customer from cradle to grave? Raise your hand. I know you want to, because that's what you're used to, right? That's what you're used to.
Did you feel
Don't be shy.
I know. Everybody's looking at the top.
Right? But what Tom is saying is real. Because every single one of you that are salespeople, you know you have to deal with them cradle to grave. Is that what we do here?
No.
No, we do unique ability teams. What does that mean? I got somebody that attracts them, somebody that impresses them, somebody that closes them, somebody that collects the check. Right there, we'll go ahead and get 20 customers for every one that you get. That's the way it should be done.
But, I mean, Tom, you should raise your hand because honestly, the ones that we have done that, we understand at this point how we're supposed to be working here. And that's what I was talking earlier. Because we understand the amount of time and effort they take from point A to point C.
Why are we gonna continue doing that? So you should raise your hand because
Yeah, well-
you know how to do it.
Well, but just because you know how to do it, doesn't mean that you should be doing it.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be doing it. If you guys run Unique Ability the right way, you said it earlier, when you first came in, you said, I gotta figure out how to get more people to do this because I can't do it myself.
Yes.
So guys, as it relates to this, as it relates to me versus we, as it relates to leadership, all this stuff, my job, and every single one of you should be looking in the mirror and asking yourself this question. My job is to train my replacement. If this company cannot function without AJ, without Nick, without David, we're dead. Absolutely dead in the water. And shame on us for not making sure that this company can continue to survive. Would you agree?
Yes.
If God forbid, something was to happen and Nick gets sick, would this company still be able to operate without Nick?
Yeah, Joe's got
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's what you need to be able to do. I kid you not. You know, everybody's all scared. Oh, you know, I don't want anybody to know my secrets. But let me tell you, I have done everything I can to make sure David knows how to run this company without me sitting in the seat. If you're not training your replacement, then you're detrimental to this company, and that's where you're going to get let go. I cannot have this company or any other company that we run sit in the hands of one person. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
So this is the part where when we talk about we to me and me to we and stuff like that, this is true, this is real. I want to be able to take my wife back home to Hawaii for a month and not have to worry about answering my phone. I think every one of you deserve that opportunity as well. But you cannot, if you sit in this cradle to grave operation where you're going from soup to nuts, you cannot do that. Because I was in that, literally. When I came into this game, I was literally hunt, kill, eat. That's it. I made a ton of money, just stupid money. And every time I went on vacation, my pipeline went from here to here. And then I spent another 3 months trying to get my pipeline back up. It's the life of a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
That's not what I want. I want to be able to know I've trained my team right, set up the systems, created the foundation, and allowed them to go out there and make things happen. So it's imperative that we look to the right, look to the left. Always know, how do I affect the person next to me, in front of me, behind me, number one, and number two, do they got my back? Do they got my back? Because that's the most important part. You gotta watch each other and not be afraid to sit there and call each other and say, David, you know, that was stupid. No, Josue, don't do that again. No? How many of you have siblings, brothers or sisters, that can be brutally honest with you?
Ay, Dios mío.
No? Right? Right? My brothers, I'm the oldest of 3 boys, and my brothers are so honest as it relates to each and every one of us that it hurts. But I will take their opinions more than anybody else in the world because I know they have nothing but love for me. Right? Would you guys say the same about, you know, people that you know? Whether it be family, friends, or whatever, right? I think every one of us would love to be able to have somebody like that. Imagine if that person was right next to you. Imagine if that person was with you as a company. Imagine if it was more than just being at home, right? Because I don't see my brothers every day. Imagine if I had these types of honest conversations with a lot of people. Why? Because I know they believe in me, and I know they care about me enough to make sure that I'm doing the best for myself and all those involved, right? What's that?
There's also one thing that I value of people like that. They do it straight out, it hurts, but they are seeing it from a different point of view that you are not able to see. So because they're seeing it from a different point of view, when they talk to you, it hurts because all you see is what you have in front of you.
Correct. Correct.
And I used to use this example a lot. If you get a pen, I can make this pen disappear to any one of you. All I need to do is put it right here in front of you, so in front of you that you're gonna miss it. But I still gonna be seeing it. The people they talk to you straight honest, they're seeing that. And most of the time, we're not seeing it.
Sure.
So that's one thing that I really appreciate from people that can say straight out things, because they're seeing what you're not.
Right. And again, guys, I personally do not have a lot of tact. Okay? I'm not the guy that has a lot of tact. What does tact mean? T-A-C-T. What does tact
It's the
mean?
way you say things.
The way I say things.
I will make it easier when you get.
Candy coating the truth.
Yeah, candy coating the
something
truth.
big.
Okay, right? So it, you know, if I sit there, you know, and say something, you know, about, you know, hey, you know, did your comb break or something this morning? You know, like, I mean, right? Like, that's just not me. Like, I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not I don't. Many of you guys in here are maybe older than me age-wise, so you can relate. As you get older in life and you've been on this earth for a while, you stop giving a rip what other people say. They don't care. I've seen that. I've seen that. As you start to get older, when you're young, you're very cautious, you want to make sure. But once you get a certain age, I don't know what that is, once you get a certain age, you don't care what anybody says, right? That's what I am. That's how I've gotten. And it's not because of age, it's because of experience. I don't have time to waste to sugarcoat stuff, right? So I apologize in advance if I don't come across sugarcoating enough. But I also want every single one of you to know, if you're a part of this company, if you're a part of this team, I love you guys to the point where I will do whatever I can do to help you. Everything that I am is to help you guys be better. So I don't mean no malice, I don't mean no disrespect. I want you to be the best version of yourself. And if I can be a part of helping that happen, I would be honored, right? So I tell you guys this because today is the day that we have to start moving forward as a we unit. We need to make sure that our priorities with our company come first. Number one in our minds is always people, right? This is number one. Protect our people. Every single person to the right and to the left of you. Protect our people. The people we serve. Protect our people. That's number one. Number two, preserve. There's a difference between protecting and preserving. Okay? Because protecting is, I'm going to watch you so that this bully doesn't come and beat you up. Preserving is to say, this is my boy. Any one of you guys touch him, I will hunt you, your mom, your dad, and kill all of you guys. That's preserving. Does that make sense? Protect, preserve, and perpetuate. Perpetuate means to allow this to continue to grow, continue to move forward. If we do all of this, if we do all these three things for the people, for the people to the right and to the left, and the people in front and in back. The people that we're serving and the people that we have yet to serve. If we do all of these three things, we cannot stop that. We cannot stop the money from coming in. Would you all agree?
Yes, agreed.
All of this stuff right here is a byproduct of doing the right thing. This is different. This is not the company of today. The company of today is built on revenue, shareholder responsibilities, and then customers, and then people. Of course I value my people. They're my top 4. That's what's going on, okay? But when we look at all of these things that we do here, all of this stuff, if we do this, this comes, right? Think about it. If we do all of these things, we will protect our people.
Yeah.
We will be on the wave, at the cusp of it all, to be able to ride this all the way to the end. Savings. Of course, that's exactly it. Independence. I've done this. I've given my little cousin the ability to walk around school and know that he's not going to have to get beaten up by anybody. Right? Mentor. That's it. How is this part of mentoring? Because these people don't even know what they need, want, or have. Better, good for the state. This is all what we need. None of this is about trying to put money in our pockets. This is all about doing the right things. Changes lives, peace of mind, money, decentralization, responsibility. All of this stuff right here falls right in line with doing what we need to do. Would you all agree?
Yes, agreed.
So I really challenge each and every one of you guys. I need you guys to do me that favor. Call up the solar installers and find out which ones are what license they have.
License?
C10, C46.
If they're C46, then it's just.
If they're C46,
If you don't want to,
ask them.
I mean,
So,
all of them.
so let me tell you guys this. Okay, I read a lot. I mean, Josh and David, before I used to send it to Mickey, David, and Nick, and then it just got too much because I stopped reading emails because I just keep getting freaking emails. And they're all articles. But I have to send it to them so that when I need to find it, I just look, I sent it to Nick, let me go ahead and put that. So I've been sending it to Josh and David a lot. The reason why I don't send you guys the articles, why do you think I don't send you guys all these articles that I find?
Because you don't want to overwhelm.
We don't need to know all of that anyway.
Exactly.
It's not our responsibility. It gets too much.
All of the above, right?
I already get enough emails.
Because the sky is falling gets really hard, right? So if Tanya gets all of these emails, she's new to the company. She doesn't know what all of these emails mean. Can you imagine the fear factor that goes into her head? Like,
No,
we
you
have
can
a-
send it to me.
So that's why I'm very picky on what that's why I send it to David and Josh to say this one needs to go out. This one needs to go out, right? But so I will go ahead and find this email on the C10 and C46, and I'll make sure that I send it out. That Josh, can I send it to you to send out to the team? Okay, guys. Don't get into the weeds.
Right.
Don't get crazy about trying to learn the law or whatever. That's out of your scope. Okay? But just know that what AJ is saying is not fabrication. That this is real. The conversation that we had with the IBEW that was at the Net Zero conference was specific, and they are pushing hard. They're literally asking me, AJ, would you be willing to write a testimonial to the CEC? Of course I'm going to write this testimonial, right? And their push is to make sure that in order to install a battery that's 20 kWh or larger on a home, you need to be C10 with higher credentials and higher training. Which means just because you're C10 doesn't also mean that you can install our batteries. So even though it puts a damper on some of what we do, I think it also creates a bigger value to what Nick was saying. To what Nick's point was, is imagine if we can sit there and say, out of all of the people that install solar, you're one of the few to qualify. Would you like to install all of our nanogrid for all of these people that cannot?
Right.
That's a bigger value.
How to sell a dealership, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Build exclusivity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to sit there and say, not everybody can get this. If you want, we are going to be selling these. We could easily send all of these installs to you. That's huge, okay? So that's why I'm asking you guys to just do your research, find out how many of them have C46, because what happens if you find somebody that has a C46? Then the conversation is, would you like to install batteries? We have a nanogrid that allows us to put in this, blah, 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 and if you'd like, we could go ahead and team you up with one of our C10 installers to do the installation for you.
Use this as a close, and I did it for the first time, and I didn't even realize I did it. I had a meeting with a dealer, and I go, I want to give you this, but I'm not sure if I can yet. Let me get back to you. And then on our second meeting, I said, let's do business and use it. It's stupid, but it works.
We gotta start doing that, guys. So in our future meetings, I want us to think, if you guys have any things that you have used in terms of pitches, opportunities that you have done, exactly what you said. And I want to do that for the first 10 minutes of our meetings. And this is the rules, two rules. Okay, in case I'm not here, these are the two rules. Number one, 10 minutes only, set a timer. Because if not, it goes long, right? Because there's a lot of different opportunities. So make sure that we bring quality things like this into our meeting. 10 minutes, number one. Number two, no negativity. Okay? Only positive on how we can improve other ways for us to do this. And this is the reason why. Because you're asking people to be vulnerable. By Tom sharing what he did, he is opening himself up for criticism. How would it be if Tom says, hey, you know what, I went ahead and did this, and you know, I think that this could work, and then all of a sudden, that's so stupid, Tom. You're so amateur. Like, man, seriously, that's what you would do? Is Tom going to share what he did successfully the next time?
No.
I wouldn't.
You probably will stop even doing what he's doing.
Exactly. So what matters is we don't need 100 great ideas. You only need one, right? You only need one. So why don't we go through the 100? As a group, imagine being able to go through 5 or 10 different ways to make things happen. Learn their stories, learn all these different things, but continue to improve. Okay, so that's what we want to start doing. Is we want to start making sure that we capture a lot of those different opportunities. Luis, what did you do at your meeting? You know, Tom, what did you do at your meeting? You know, Josue, what did you do at your meeting? Keep them concise, allow people to learn from it, and just keep moving on. Allow them to data bank it, right? A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Let's just be wise. Okay.
There's plenty to go around. This is Southern California.
Oh my God.
30 million people here, just in LA. Think about that, you know? And every sales job I've had in California was always a we thing, always. And when I was in Detroit, it was completely opposite. It's different out here. I mean, people can say what you want about California people, we're actually really nice. Because most of them aren't from here. So. We have a very hippie, like, cool attitude. And but to back up, yeah, I would love to help anybody. And that's why I call David all the time. I call Courtney, I call Paul all the time. So I'd love to be like that with more of them.
Yeah, definitely. We will start implementing Zoom Info over the next 2 weeks. So Zoom Info is the ability for us to start getting commercial leads. Okay. So cold, medium, hot leads. How many of you guys like cold leads? How many of you like hot leads? Right. How many of you like lukewarm leads?
I'll take that.
Okay, so this is what makes AJ crazy. I love cold leads.
Yeah.
Absolutely love cold leads. So, what is an example of a hot lead? What's an example of a hot lead?
Somebody that comes in, they trust you.
They trust you, they're looking for the product, they're already looking for microgrids,
They're on
right?
the sign right
Is that,
now.
right? Is that, well, that's a laydown.
That's a laydown.
Right? So a hot lead, is an entity that's actively looking for a microgrid, right? Cold lead is the next door neighbor, right? So how many of you guys would like the one that's actively looking for a microgrid?
I'd say a warm lead would be high energy bills, and that's it. Think about that.
But
they don't even know they have a problem.
But that's what I'm saying, that's actually a cold lead.
That's a cold lead?
That is a cold lead, because a cold lead means that they're not looking.
Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you my theory on leads. Hot leads I don't like. You know why? If they're looking for microgrids, what did you say, David?
Shopping.
They're shopping. They're shopping. Anybody that's been in sales, when you are selling LEDs and somebody is a hot lead because they're looking for LEDs, why is it that they just know all of a sudden, oh, I'm looking for a T8 and I'm looking for a trend, like they know all the terminology, they know all the companies, and they know all the prices. At what point do you get the job? Lowest price.
Never.
Right? You never get the job because if you're a good salesperson, you're not going to drop your price. Right?
No.
Cold lead. Cold lead is this. Okay? I need three things. For a lead, and Josue knows this better than anybody else because this is all I care about. Josue met us, Mickey and I, because he was a lead generator. And he came to the company that we were working for and he's like, we'll go ahead and get you leads. I can get leads all over the place, all up and down California. That's what we do. Perfect. These are the three things that I need. First thing, I need all decision makers. So this was a home scenario. Okay? So I needed husband and wife. Okay? So, and we can translate this into the bigger picture as well. That's number one. I need all decision makers because when you sell it in the home, the husband is there. How many times have I walked in, closed the husband, he gets the paper signed, and the very next day, he calls up, I'm sorry, my wife said no. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but my wife said I can't do this. A friend of mine owns a carpet company, huge carpet company. On the front of on the lawn, it says, men are not allowed in here by themselves without a permission slip from their wife. You think I'm joking?
That's a good one.
Have any of you men tried to pick up carpet without your wife saying yes?
Oh.
Hell no! Stupid! Like you can almost guarantee you're buying another carpet after that. Young boys, make sure you guys know this. I'm telling you, I'm saving you a lot of headache and money. Right? You can try to be the man and say, huh, that's the carpet we're using? Okay, whatever. Sleeping in another room tonight. Right? I wear the pants in the house. My wife just tells me what color. So number one, decision maker. All decision makers need to be there. Number two, there needs to be a need or desire. Okay? So exactly to what Tom was saying. They got high energy bills, they fit. Right? And then the third thing that they need is means to pay. Okay? Because when I go into the home, of course they have a need or a desire because their windows all suck. So I got to change out their windows, right? Both husband and wife are there. Perfect. But they're on Social Security. The husband isn't working. The wife isn't working. So I got two of them, but there's no way to pay for it. Right? So now, this is what I did on the residential side for cold leads. If I've got a cold lead, can I close this? If I got a cold lead, can I close this? If I have both decision makers, husband and wife there, they've got cracked windows, and their AC is not working, and they have a good job, give them to me. I'll close them all
That's a
day
sale.
long. Just consider that a sale,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Because how many of you guys have a decent car? Maybe even a great car, right? You drive into a shopping center, somebody goes ahead and sees your car, it looks a little dilapidated, and it's like, oh, I can get you this car right here. Really? Yeah, it doesn't even matter what kind of car it is. But if he can go ahead and show you that you need it, and he can show you a way to be able to get it, as long as he can convince me and he can sell me, then I can buy it. But if I am already going from car dealership to car dealership to car dealership, I'm being savvy, and that person has to either give me the best deal or really work hard at it. If this is a cold lead, I don't really have to work that hard. That's why, for me personally, I love knocking on doors. I love going canvassing and just knocking on these doors and say, hey buddy, how's that solar installation? I see you guys, remember I told you guys that? How many of you guys remember? When we first got together, I told you guys, I challenged you to drive around and look for commercial solar installations. You can see them all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go knock on their door and say, hey, how do you like your solar? Shut up. How many of you think that they're gonna like their solar? We got time of use nowadays, right?
You're not.
They're not. They're not. Because they got demand charges between 4 and 9 p.m. now. Right? Which means the demand charges, they probably got paid for this huge solar and they still got a big bill. So they're probably pissed off because of their solar. But what if, on the small chance that they actually do like it? Right? Because if they don't like it, what's our next conversation? Hey, we can go ahead and put in batteries, get rid of demand charges, help you out, create a microgrid, boom, sale is on its way. But if they do say, oh, I like my solar, oh man, it saved me a lot of money. Oh, really good. You guys still got demand charges? I don't know. You want, I can help you analyze it, take a look at it, because if you put batteries now, it can go ahead and enhance something good that you already have. So either way, I don't care, yes or no, I know how to sell you, right? But they weren't expecting me. They weren't expecting somebody to come in and start trying to sell them batteries and all this other stuff. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I tell you guys all of this stuff because as we continue to go down this path, you know, I want you guys to understand that when we give you a lead, don't sit there and expect and hope for a hot lead. I want you guys to be able to look at this and say, how can I turn this lead into an opportunity? Also,
one biggest advantage of having a cool lead, to me, is that a hot lead, you have to filter it. You have to implement filters to get to where you want. A cool lead, you don't need to do that. You just need to evaluate at what point you're going to be selling. That's it. So it's easier to evaluate than put them through the whole filters.
So, again, guys, you know, I want you guys to, as we continue to roll these things out, as we start giving you guys these things, I need your mindset to be focused on how do I sell, what am I selling, what's the best way for me to start asking questions. It's all about asking questions. You know, if any of you guys have been with me in appointments, in trade shows, or networking events, I always ask questions. When people come up to the booth, how many of you guys sit there and say, hey, how are you guys doing? You know, let me tell you what we do, right? Is that what you guys do? You guys hear a lot of people do that. Yeah. I don't do that. I never do that. Every single time that somebody comes up to me in the booth or whatever, I always ask them. I won't even tell them what I do until I ask them what they do. Right? Because it's a waste of my time if I just start spitting out all of this stuff. What if the guy just needed to know where the bathroom was? You think I'm joking? Literally, I saw that happen in front of my eyes at Net Zero. This guy went on his tirade about his pitch, and then the guy's like, oh, that's really cool. Hey, I'm so sorry, but by the way, do you know where the restroom is? I'm like, okay? So I, again, all of these things are here for us to really start to gravitate towards. I impress upon each of you how much we appreciate you guys grabbing onto our vision, allowing us to be able to help create the bigger vision with your help. And I know that if we continue to focus on protecting the people, preserving the people, perpetuating the people in how we do our work, it doesn't matter whether it's microgrids or any other widget. If we do this right, we're always going to be able to allow the business to grow, revenue, shareholder value, customers, all of that stuff. All of the things that are important to the world will come as a byproduct for doing what's important to us, right? This week, we will continue to follow up on all of our leads from Net Zero, from SPI. We'll start trying to really hone in on our pitch. I think what we're gonna do is, I think something else that we were talking about is we want to, starting next week, we want to start going over elevator pitches.
Great.
So.
And building our story you were talking about.
Correct. So we want to start building our story. So next week, I'm gonna call on a couple of you guys to give your elevator pitch. I don't care what it is.
Okay.
I don't care what it is. At this point, I want you guys to come up with it and just come up with what you would say, and I want it to be personal. I want you to also start coming up with your story, okay? And we're gonna use this as a way to listen to each other, learn from each other, build on each other, so that we can kind of create a better story for us. We know what our story is. You guys have heard our story many times in terms of how and why this company is here, where we expect this company to go, and we want you guys to be a part of that. We want your story to be a part of this story. We want our story to be a part of your story, right? That's why all of this stuff is important. If this is part of who you are, then make it a part of it. Make it a deeper part of it, please.
When I first started sales, 15 years ago, I was watching and I was a car salesman, I learned, because I get out of the military, what am I gonna do? I have no idea. So I'm watching all these guys and I'm seeing people grabbing and that's not me, I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna be someone who's gonna be explaining, helping, and everything else. But I'm seeing these guys closing more people. And all of a sudden, this one person comes back, and I recognized him a couple of weeks earlier. He bypassed all this, and I want to talk to him. He says, I'm coming back to you because you showed me the car, but you weren't not the cheapest car. But you were the one that took your time and listened to me. You were patient, you understood what he wanted, and you showed me what I was interested in. And so I appreciate that, and I wanted to give you my business because I respect how you treated me. You weren't trying to sell me something, you're trying to help me. And that's, I feel if we are trying to help people, it'll show differently than other people say, here's a price. Pay this.
I agree.
Why not yes or no?
Yes.
I know, he said, came back to me, he bought the car. He says, I know you're not the cheapest, but I like how you did your business.
Correct. So, and again, it all goes back to this, if we do it right, I don't care. I mean, I've told multiple people, I can send you to the right people. And 95% of them have come back saying, I want you. I appreciate you sending me someplace else, but I want you. The ones that don't come back, do I really want to work with them? No, I don't. You know, it's probably better than work with them. And that goes for not just customers, but also people on our team. If people on our team, you know, I mean, 80% of the headache will come from 20% of the people. You know, I mean, if our team members are going to make it unsatisfying, difficult, a challenge to be here, I don't want to be here. You know, I wanted to be a part of this company because of freedom of choice of relationships. I like not having to work with somebody that I don't want to work with, right? Many of us have worked at companies where you're forced to work with some loser that just is not good for you, your well-being, your attitude. My wife has to deal with that every day. You know, she's a nurse, she makes good money at a great hospital, but some of her, you know, coworkers are toxic. You know, so she comes home delivering babies, feeling all great about delivering a baby, but then she hates her coworkers. You know, so that's not the life that I want to live. You know, so thank you guys again for all that you do. Thank you for your trust in us, and let's go make this week a great week. I gotta jump off.